Hi Glow Kids, and welcome back to another week of our online services. We are starting our in-person services back up again tomorrow morning at 10:30, which is so exciting. But for those of you who are still at home, who cannot come, we're going to continue our Saturday premieres where you can watch our services that we'll also be doing on Sundays. So you're not missing out on anything. But we would love to see you on Sundays if you're able to make it. Let's get ready to worship together.
Night has fallen, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost and my hope exhausted, you will be my strength. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided you won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. Now I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my soul. Season, you keep repeating promises to me. Whoa, now there's no stopping what you have started until it is complete. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I decided I'm not giving up. You won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my when my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking out, breaking out. Hey, your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my soul. In my
Hi kids, today I'm excited to talk about God's plan. I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered why bad things happen to good people? Ever wondered how someone who is living for God can go through so many difficult times in their life? Sometimes we think that when bad things happen, they must be a punishment for something that we did. We begin to get discouraged and think that there's no way that we'll ever get out of the situation that we're in. But there's pretty awesome promise in the Bible that God has made to each of us about what He can do in our bad situations. To find out a little more about that, I want you guys to watch this awesome video.
Oh, hey, you're just in time. I'm waiting on a phone call from my coach. We had makeup tryouts yesterday, and I feel like I did pretty good. After all,
You have an excellent trainer, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, Tony, I was just about to say that. I have an excellent trainer.
And you're following God's game plan for your life.
I sure am. I've learned so much on this journey.
You sure have, shortstop. It's like my old pal, Potty Skippin, used to say.
Wait, potty skipping?
That's what I said. Did I stutter?
Don't you mean Scottie Pippen of the world champion Chicago Bulls?
No, I'm talking about Potty Skippin. He's the guy that would clean the basketballs for my team that I played on in middle school. Anyway, it's like Potty used to say, you can't trust a porcupine to weave his own basket.
And what exactly was that supposed to mean?
I have no idea, but I always thought it sounded funny. Forget about it.
Gladly.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's the coach. What am I supposed to do?
You answer the phone. Hello?
Oh, yeah. Hello? Oh, hey, coach. Yeah? You're kidding. Yeah, I understand. Okay, bye.
Well, don't just stand there. What did he say?
Well, he said that there was a major mix-up with the video. You see, the coach recorded a video to show all the assistant coaches to show them our skills and evaluate us to see if we were ready to make the team.
Yeah, so?
So, the coach said the video of me got corrupted, so he wasn't able to show any of the assistant coaches how I did.
Well, what does that mean?
I'll tell you what that means. It means they have nothing to evaluate my skills. There's no way I'm gonna make the team now.
Now just hold on. God can still turn this thing around.
Turn this around? Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. After all, God did make us a promise in Romans 8:28.
What promise is that?
And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose for them.
How in the world can this work together for my good? This is terrible. The video is totally corrupted. It's over for me, Tony.
Yeah, well, I bet people thought it was over for Joseph, too.
Who's Joseph? Is it another one of your basketball buddies?
No, Joseph in the Bible. The kids are going to learn all about in their lesson today how Joseph went through some horrible things in his life. It looked like things were going to be over, but God turned it all around for his good.
Really? Well, I sure would like to hear about that.
You will, and so will the kids. Never count God out. He can turn things around. You just got to trust in His promises.
Okay, I will.
That's what I like to hear. Now, another funny thing that Potty Skippin used to say is sometimes he would take his toothbrush and put it in his ears because it makes his toenails vibrate.
It's easy to get discouraged when things are not going our way. But we have to remember that God is able to take our bad situation and turn things around. He can take our bad and make it good. This is exactly what you're going to learn in your lesson today. But right now, let's find out what our What You Gotta Know is from Callie from the Valley.
You know I gotta tell you what you gotta know. Tell you what you gotta know. You know I gotta tell you what you gotta know. Tell you what you gotta know.
Hey kids, it's me, Callie from the Valley, and I'm here to tell you what you gotta know. Today, we're talking about how God can turn grody situations into good ones. So every time today somebody asks you what you gotta know, you tell them. God can use the bad for good. Bad things happen to all of us. You can probably relate to these. When your bangs just won't get high enough, or when you're at the mall and the mall cop is you can't roller skate in here and you have to walk. Or when your cassette tapes get totally jammed in your Walkman and you can't listen to your favorite song. You know what I mean, right? Yeah, well, whatever. Those are totally awful situations. But the point is, God can like turn any bad situation into good. He can like turn the beat. He can like turn things around for you. So every time today somebody asks you what you gotta know, you tell them. God can use the bad for good. And that is what you gotta know. I'm Callie from the Valley saying TTYL. Okay, like, what you gotta know?
Today's Bible story is about a guy who definitely had a tough life. His name is Joseph. Joseph was the favorite son of his father, and Joseph's brothers did not appreciate this. Joseph's brothers were so angry at him that they ended up selling him as a slave to some passing traders. Joseph went through a lot over the next few years. He ended up being accused of something that he didn't do. Then he spent time in prison. To make a long story short, God used Joseph in a powerful way, and he ended up being placed as second in command of the entire country of Egypt. Joseph ended up reconnecting with his brothers and father much later, and they came to live in Egypt with him. Eventually, their father died, and after he was buried, Joseph's brothers began to get worried. They were convinced that Joseph was still mad at them for everything that they had done to him when he was young. They believed that Joseph was going to try to take revenge on them for selling him into slavery and mistreating him. The brothers told Joseph, "Please forgive us for what we did to you. We will be your slaves if you want. Just don't kill us." Joseph cried when he heard this. He was so sad that they couldn't see that he was not that kind of person. At that moment, Joseph said something amazing to them. Joseph said, "Don't be afraid of me. Am I God to judge and punish you? As far as I'm concerned, you intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to the high position I have today so I could save the lives of many people." The brothers couldn't believe what they heard. Not only did Joseph not want to harm them, but Joseph believed that God had actually allowed all of these bad things happen in his life so that God could use them to bring about good for Joseph and his family. And this wasn't all that Joseph said to them. Joseph told his brothers, "I will take care of you and your children from this day forward." Wow. What an incredible attitude. Joseph believed that God could use even the worst situations in his life to bring about great things for him and his family. And that's exactly what God did.
Why, hello everyone! My name is Ruby Artiste, but nobody goes by Ruby anymore, so you can just call me Artiste. Now, I'm just working on my newest painting here, but I think I'm going to take a break. So, why don't you help me with today's Power Verse? See, the problem is I sleepwalk at night, and last night I was painting today's Power Verse, and I started using pictures instead of words. So now I need you to help me figure out what it's supposed to say. Let's take a look at it. And we scold. Mean person. Why is that person saying no? Oh, no. That God causes everything to desk? Businessman? No. Well, what is that person doing? They're working on something. Work together for the good of those who heart. No, that's not it. Well, boys and girls, what could that word be? Ah, yes, love, God, and we know this one. Called according to his dolphin. No, that's right. Purpose for them. Romans 8:28. That's it! Great job, boys and girls. Now, let's make sure that we don't forget it. So everyone stand up and say it with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. Romans 8:28. Great job, everyone. You can all have a seat. Now, would you like to see what I've been painting today? Let me warn you though, it makes me a little bit emotional and it might make you emotional too, so get ready, get your handkerchiefs out, ready to dab your tears because it's quite touching. See, it's a flower in the desert. Let me show you. We'll all take a moment of silence. I'm sorry, it's just so powerful. You are going to be okay, little flower. Even if all of your petals are down on the ground, you can get back up. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you all so much for your help today. I'll see you later, boys and girls. Bye-bye.
Hear the whisper of your call, feel you pulling through it all. You're on to me, you're on to me. Nothing hidden anymore. You expose me in your side. I know you see, I know you see. All eyes on you. All eyes on you. I'm never gonna look away. No, never, no, never, no, never. All eyes on you. All eyes on you. I'm never gonna look away. No, never, no, never, no, never. All I want is in your eyes, how you have me mesmerized. Stay here with me, stay here with me. In this moment, you and me, I can glimpse eternity. I'll never leave, I'll never leave. All eyes on you. All eyes on you. I'm never gonna look away. No, never, no, never, no, never. All eyes on you. All eyes on you. I'm never gonna look away. No, never, no, never, no, never. Right here, right now, you have all my attention. Right here, right now, you have it, you have it. Right here, right now, come take all my affection. Right here, right now, come take it, come take it. Right here, right now, you have all my attention. Right here, right now, you have it, you have it. Right here, right now, come take all my affection. Right here, right now, come take it. I'm never gonna look away. I'm never gonna look away.
How many of you have ever had something bad happen to you? How many of you have ever had something bad happen to someone that you love? And how many of you have ever known something bad to happen to someone who was a strong Christian? Many people get confused as to why God would allow bad things to happen to good Christian people. They assume that when someone is a Christian, things are supposed to be perfect for them. But that's not the way that life is. Even Jesus had his difficulties in life. Bad things happen to good people sometimes. It was no different for Joseph. He had some pretty terrible things happen to him. We looked at his life today, and there were so many bad things that happened to him, we couldn't even cover them all in our Bible story. So let's see if we can think of some of the other bad things that happened in Joseph's life. One is that his brothers hated him. Nobody believed in his dream. He was sold into slavery. He was tempted by Potiphar's wife. He was accused of something that he didn't do. He was put into prison, and he was forgotten by Pharaoh's cupbearer. Even though he went through so many bad things, Joseph never lost faith in God. He had never stopped believing that God was at work in his life. Remember what Joseph said in our Bible story today? He told his brothers, "As far as I'm concerned, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. He brought me to the high position I have today so that I could save the lives of many people." How could Joseph think this way? How could he look at all the bad things that had happened in his life and still have faith that God was working behind the scenes? It's because Joseph realized that bad things happen. Bad things happen in life and we get hurt. People let us down. We lose friends. People get sick. Bad things are just a part of life. Jesus told us in John 16:33, "In this world you will have trouble." It's not a maybe. You will have trouble. Bad things will happen, and they happened to Joseph, and they will happen to you. The key is, though, you have to remember that God is in control. Joseph didn't freak out when he was sold into slavery. He knew that God was in control. Joseph didn't go crazy when he was put into prison for something that he didn't do. He knew God was in control. And Joseph knew that although it seemed on the outside like things were going terribly, behind the scenes, God was working to make everything come together for his awesome game plan. If Joseph had never been sold into slavery and thrown into prison, he would never have been able to interpret the dream for Pharaoh and become the ruler of the land. Never forget, God can take the bad and use it for good. God has a way of taking things that others meant for evil and making them out for the good of those who love him. And that's what our power verse today says. That's what we need to understand. When someone close to you gets sick, believe that God can use that bad to bring about something good. When one of your parents loses their job, believe that God can use the bad to bring about something good. He may have had an even better job waiting for them. God can use the bad for good. You might be wondering, would God really let something bad happen to someone just so his plan could be accomplished? Would God do that? In fact, he would. And how do I know this? Because he did it with his son. God allowed Jesus to be beaten and nailed to a cross so that his plan of salvation could be brought about for you and for me. God can take what seems to be bad and bring it about for something amazing and good. We just have to remember that he is in control and we can trust him no matter what. So let's gather, let's bow our head and close our eyes. I'm going to pray over you. God, I pray for all of the children who are going through tough times. And I pray that you would allow them to share what they're going through and to grow. I pray that they wouldn't lose heart, but that they would remember that you're in control. And I pray that you would take the things that the enemy meant for evil and turn them into good. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching online today. We hope to see you tomorrow in service, Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. But if you can't make it, then we'll see you here next Saturday at noon. Have a good week. Thank you and bye.